Hello, I'm Dr. Sherry, author of the Cruise Through History Stories and Storybooks. And today I want to go to Itinerary 13, the stories that take us from Africa through Asia. And we're going to go to the port of Bangkok, the home of the Emerald Buddha. Actually, this Travels of the Emerald Buddha will take us not only through Thailand, but through Laos and Cambodia. But our story begins and ends in the city of Bangkok, the city built around the river that snakes through. And today we see the high-rise buildings and all the little boats that traverse the river where we can party at night and take shuttles to go shopping during the day and visit other temples and other Buddha, including the reclining Buddha in its temple in Bangkok. But the Emerald Buddha is truly the icon of the people of Thailand. And they know that this is no mere inanimate object. It is a force. It is a force that keeps them at peace and in prosperity. So to know the story is to know of the travels of the Emerald Buddha. Emerald Buddha was created, as the legend goes, in 43 of the ancient era by a monk in Patna, India, the home of Buddha before he reached enlightenment. And the Emerald Buddha left India and it went to Sri Lanka. In the 12th century, Sri Lanka was the world capital of Buddhism. And the Emerald Buddha stayed in Sri Lanka for a number of centuries before the king of Sri Lanka gifted it to King Jayavarman VII of Cambodia as a wedding present. So the Emerald Buddha traveled to Cambodia. When the Emerald Buddha left Sri Lanka, it experienced a period of poor crops and the prosperity declined, whereas the Buddha with King Jayavarman had peace and prosperity. And the king acted as a good Buddhist king should. He built temples and monuments to the ancestors. We know him for Angkor Thom, his capital, but there were other palaces and monuments built as well. And as long as the Emerald Buddha remained with King Jayavarman VII, there was prosperity and peace. But subsequent kings were not good Buddhists, and they allowed the Brahmin priests to come. And the next king had leprosy, and shortly after passed away. And the Emerald Buddha knew that he needed to leave Cambodia. And two monks, as if by will of the Buddha, spirited him away and hid him in Chiang Rai, which is now in Thailand. The people of Cambodia experienced floods and wars and a decline in the population, while the people of Chiang Rai prospered. The little Buddha was hidden for centuries again. And one day, a monk was cleaning out a back room of a temple when he saw a little Buddha in plaster, and he cleaned it off a bit and set it on a shelf. Now there were leaks in the temple, and as the water came through, it washed away the plaster, and it revealed a little green undercurrent. And the monks came in, saw this shining bit of green, cleaned away the plaster, and behold, the Emerald Buddha. And the monks notified the king of the Thai. He said, "Bring this Buddha to me immediately." And from Chiang Rai, the monks put the little Buddha on an elephant headed to Chiang Mai, headed toward the Thai king. But the Buddha defied his handlers, and instead of going down into Thailand, he went to Laos. The monks ran after the elephant, grabbed the little Buddha, put him on a second elephant, and the handler was told, "Take this Buddha to the Thai king." And once again, the Buddha defied his handlers and went to Laos. There, a young nobleman, realizing that he shouldn't tempt fate and that the Buddha probably wanted to be in Laos, kept the Buddha with him for about 12 years. And he was in Luang Prabang. The people experienced peace and prosperity, while the Thai people were attacked by their Burmese aggressors, and there was a great deal of strife throughout the country. But until there was peace in the land, the Buddha stayed in Laos. Meanwhile, a strong general rose among the Thai people, and he was able to cast the Burmese out of Thailand and bring peace to his people. He grabbed the Emerald Buddha from Laos and brought it to Thailand, where the royals created the chapel at Wat Phra Kaew, and that's where the Buddha rests today. There are special temple guardians who look after the 16 different buildings on the temple grounds, but the Buddha lives within the chapel, and the royals of Thailand come to pay their respects 3 times each year. Thousands of Thai come each day to give their respects to the Buddha. And as visitors, we crowd with the local Thai for our moment to see the Buddha high above, because we know for this Buddha to have traveled so far, to bring equilibrium in the world, took great power. And there is something awesome about this small but shining figure, the icon of the Thai people. There are more stories of Thailand and more stories in all of the Cruise Through History books that I'd like to share with you. So until we meet on a cruise ship or we join again for one of these virtual tours, be well.